Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the DomJake podcast. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your host, Dom.
We are both nerds of the highest caliber, isn't that right?
Oh, you bet. You could say that.
Well, I kind of want you to guess what we're about to do today.
Well, we did the State of the Celluloid episode, and we even discussed whether to social media or not. We even did one about being artificially intelligent. We'll obviously just be talking about our personal connection into the world of video games.
Yes, Dom, we will be talking about the world of video games. In particular, the worlds we all experience. Are you ready to get started?
Let's go!
Now, a part of video games is the memories and the experiences that come with them. I'll ask you this one. Are there any franchises that you enjoy, and actually you could tell me why you enjoy them?
I know there's a couple I know. I mean, sure we all, if we're strictly the video game franchises, I know Mario's one of my favorites.
Wonder if yeah, you couldn't stop talking about the Mario movie, and then you even said "Let's go" earlier. So
I even actually was earlier today. I was at the arcade and playing the original Mario game on the arcade cabinet, so that was fun.
yeah, you did the NES version, but obviously not on an NES.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jeez, man.
I mean, I don't know. There's like for the reason for that. Well, there's no specific reason, I guess. Just because, well, it's I don't know. There's just a lot. There's just a lot going on with the Mario franchise.
Yeah, you think you like how imaginative like every single iteration kind of turns, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
how you could be, an astronaut exploring different different space things, like
Or
or and then it
well,
somehow turns into, oh, you get to turn into a dinosaur by throwing your hat on it or something.
yeah, the one oh Cappy, yep.
Yeah, a little.
Or
You like the innovations that they do, yeah.
Flood, the jetpack, the water jet that just talks
Yeah.
to you and then sprays water.
Oh yeah. So
That that game was actually my first exposure to Mario.
that was your. I think that actually could have been my first one as well. I mean, it's for me. It's one of those hard things because, like, do you count the first time I actually saw it, or do you count the first one that I actually played? Because
Oh,
if it's the first one that I physically touched the actual device, I want to say that's the same thing for me.
well, it was both for me. It was like the first time I saw him and then the first time I played him.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty much the same way with the franchise. Um, Mario's been a big part of my life. I'm trying to see around my room just to see if there might be some merchandise, and actually, surprisingly, I can't see anything from Mario. But you can trust me on that one. I am a
Merchandise.
fiend. I am a Mario fiend. Um, I mean, same sort of example. No, same sort
Mm,
of reason as you. Like, I I just grew up with it for whatever reason. It was like because my mom had gotten, I think, the NES or something, maybe the SNES from my grandfather or well, her father, right? I don't think she was that into it, but she did play the first game like you did today.
mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think she beat it though, but she definitely got to World 1, 2. Maybe I think she actually knows where the what the shortcuts are too. At
What is
least
that?
into one anyway. I don't know if she beat it ever though, but she doesn't have to. She kind of passed that down a little bit. But yeah, actually, a big reason why the Mario franchise was big for me is I have two brothers who are 7 years older than me, and
Mm-hmm.
it was already they were already in into it. So by kind of transmittive property, I am too. Right?
Yep. Yep. I have an older brother who had the GameCube and had the Mario Sunshine, and that was my first exposure.
Oh yeah.
Older brother's like what, almost 2 years older?
You're yours 2 years. Okay. Yeah.
Like a
Well,
year and 8 months to be specific.
closer to
Closer to two,
yours then. Yeah.
but like a year and 8 months. But
So yeah.
but
So the
yeah,
Mario franchise, does that also include the Mario spin-off stuff where it's like
Luigi's
uh,
Mansion.
right, the Luigi's Mansion stuff, the Donkey Kong stuff, the whatever else is there.
We had that game too, and a couple Christmases ago, I got Platinum Edition GameCube,
Oh geez.
and I had to replace the disc drive for that, and then I could finally play some of those old games that I played like 15 to 20 years ago.
Oh God, yeah. Ew, that's nasty to think about. Wait a minute. You said 15 to 20.
Oh,
Were you 2 years old?
well, no, okay, maybe not. Like, okay, maybe not. That was just an example, but like that was like
I
that was
get
like
it.
that was most of GameCube's lifetime was that around that time. So,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
but I would say my earliest memory would be 3 or 4.
Or earliest game maybe, but we don't need to get into the memories right now. Um,
But that's
you think there are any like other franchises that you are like big on?
well, I know there's a game based on the based on that popular DreamWorks movie Shrek.
Yeah.
I have the uh, I know I enjoy the movies obviously and that, but I also enjoy, I don't know, kind of enjoy some of the video games that came out for it.
There was like a Shrek game that was on the GameCube that like I can't explain what it was. It might even be just like a Mandela effect where it's like I'm just making it up, but like I don't I don't I don't remember a lot about it, but I could also see it in my head. It's one of those weird random moments, but I wouldn't say I was like a super fan of like the video game franchise of Shrek, but it was like, you know, part of our collection for a little bit, I guess, if those are real. But if we are going to talk about another franchise that I got into a lot, except lately
There's one, oh yeah,
I
like,
hadn't really gotten like all of them technically, but like I got like a big a big amount of them. The Lego games.
Lego.
Yeah, like I mean Lego Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I didn't get Harry Potter, um, but I got Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hmm. See, that's tough.
Um,
You're like a big Lego person. We also did have Crash Bandicoot,
yeah, okay.
which the game I really remember was Crash Nitro Kart on the GameCube.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
And no, we did dip our toes into the Lego stuff. I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I could play it, but not something I like every day. But
Uh,
you had a, so you did have.
Because
So
yeah,
pretty much Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Star Wars. You had that.
I had the Pirates of the Caribbean one, and I also have Lego Dimensions, the one that introduced like the NFC chips on the bottom. So it's like, oh,
Oh,
they read that this one's Doctor Who, or oh, this one is Gandalf, right? Like
they're like the Skylanders, Amiibos.
exactly the same technology. Which, I mean, Amiibos is technically not a game franchise. It's statues of a bunch of characters. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, it's the same sort of situation as the Lego one, but Skylanders I got, but I kind of lost interest in it like within a month. So for a while it collected dust until we just got rid of it.
Mm,
No shade to Skylanders. It is a pretty good franchise. It's cool, but
not, not
I
to knock those who are actually still interested in it.
yeah, oh definitely not. I mean it is it is a cool franchise, and I remember being highly entertained by the month of gameplay that I did. I just didn't, for whatever reason, I just lost interest in it. I don't know why. It might gain my interest again if I was to maybe start over now, but obviously I kind of got rid of a lot of the I think I got rid of all of the statues that I had, and I don't know if I want to restart the statue collection. So I think on this laptop, this old ass laptop that I have,
Mm-hmm.
I think I even technically have the laptop version of it. If I go into the files like a long way, I think it was something where it's like it came every statue that you got also came with like a card, and you're able to punch in the code. So now you unlocked the hero. I could be making that up, but I think that was the case. Um, but definitely, it sounds like, I mean, unless if you can think of any more franchises that you enjoy, and specifically, why do you enjoy them? Uh, are there any more that you could think of? Oh, I could think of one more, but I'll let you go first if there is.
Hmm. Let's not forget the yellow sponge himself.
Yeah, you
But
like the video game franchise, of the sponge cake, right?
yep, I, I specifically really liked the movie game, although it's not going to top Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Mm,
But
I have no experience with the SpongeBob games anyway.
but the movie game I personally like really enjoyed out of nostalgia, and I don't know. That's just that really, but I don't know why do I don't know. I guess I really don't have the explanation specifically right now, but I'm just thinking as a kid, would you be thinking, "Oh, I want to play a SpongeBob in a video game?"
Yeah, it's. I mean, I could be. I don't want to talk for you or anything, but it sounds like what you're saying is something like you like the ability to play characters that you like seeing on the screen, right?
That's
But
what I was like.
like SpongeBob was one that you probably, I mean, you might even still. I even think I still, but like you watch on the screen, so it's like, oh, I get a chance to be the yellow guy, or I get a
Well,
chance to be Winnie the Pooh,
what I was trying to.
or
That's what
whatever.
I was trying to say. So, oh, I want to have the chance to be those characters, or stuff like you don't want to dress up as SpongeBob. You can just be SpongeBob in a video game. You can go around Bikini Bottom, except you can't really cook Krabby Patties, but you have to go to these open worlds and do missions.
Yeah, that's like one of the strange things about that though, where it's like if you want to be SpongeBob, right? Technically, you might be able to like go where the game allows you to go, but you might not be allowed to, like you said, cook Krabby Patties or enter a boat and maybe crash into somewhere, right? Maybe you can't go past this limit because the game just has physical boundaries it doesn't want you to go. But yeah,
And now there's yeah, yeah, pretty much oh yeah, the boundary breaking. Like you can't really yeah, you'll see things that aren't really there.
yeah. And the last franchise that I will mention because I thought of that right before you thought of SpongeBob is I want to see if you might be able to guess it.
Hmm. Pokemon, right?
Never mind, I have two that I want. But yes, that one wasn't the one I was thinking of, but it totally is a big one that's on my list. The sad part is I get in my phases, right?
Yeah, that's literally what I'll be like.
Like I do. It's definitely one where it's like I get my phase in, where it's like, oh, like a good 2 months or something. I'm dedicated to it. Usually it happens because the new game came out, or I just got a game that might not have been new, but I just got it or something, and I have more ability to do something with it. But I that's definitely one of them. And once again, that's mainly a big reason is just I got two older brothers that were in it already. But after that, I kind of got the fascination for different game mechanics that the two of them really never got into. So it's like I became the resident expert of, for example, breeding. I definitely know a lot more than the two of them do combined about breeding. I'm not obviously like I'm not the professional in the world. Like there are people who memorized where every single every single Pokemon goes into, like what category they fit into and what exclusions they have, but I'm not professional, but I could get a breeding job done. Definitely. It's
Hmm.
it is like a cool thing to um kind of have, I guess, collectible pets that you could take on an adventure everywhere. I know they're not really pets because I don't think typical people take their pets on journeys around the world and force them to fight other people's pets, but you get what I mean, right?
Unless it's a police dog.
Oh, maybe, but the police dogs fight the trainers, not the.
That one, yeah.
If
Uh,
anything, it's more hunters, right? Like hunting dogs will fight other animals, but
If I trained, if I
but
trained,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
that was definitely one of them.
I was like, I'll have the phases of this franchise I like for this while, and then I'll lose interest.
Oh yeah, that's a different type of phase, though. I mean, like I'd never lose. I guess I technically never like. They always probably have me as a customer, at least as long as I have the funding to do so. Um, but there will be like times where it's like, actually now I'm in one of my dry spells, other than technically the old Game Boy that I see staring at me over there, which has like Pokemon Yellow. Other than trying to get that to work again because it's kind of been bugging out a little bit, like maybe I have to use different batteries. It could be something like that, but I couldn't power it on for whatever reason, but I don't technically need to because it's just another Gen 1, which if I wanted another Generation 1 experience, I could just go on Let's Go.
Oh,
It's technically different, but same-ish. Eh.
there is a local game store that could kind of specialize with like those game systems that you have.
Oh yeah, yeah, probably that you're saying one that happens to be in a mall,
No, it's actually
not in one.
no, not even no, but this store is like does specialize with these retro systems and then new stuff too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, because I already checked. Um, yeah, this is a big name. I don't need to censor this one, but I already did check the local GameStop, the one that's like close to the local Walmart, which there are probably like at least 100 locations that match that. So
Well, actually,
I
now
should
that I
be set.
remember, well, there is multiple like this is kind of a chain of stores. So I'll just say the name of it: Game Exchange.
Oh, yeah, I've actually never been, so I really don't know what's going on there, but that could be something I check out. But it's also one of those things I don't necessarily know if I need to. It's just one of those I like to see that gray brick because it's just like it's a memorabilia thing. It's like a part of history, and it's like, oh, it's cool that it kind of can turn on sometimes ish.
Mm,
But the other franchise that I was talking about, the one that I asked you to guess, which you did technically guess another one that I wasn't even thinking of, but I'll give you the guessing reins again. I want to see if you could get this.
Dragon. No, but no, that's a show.
Dragon Ball? No.
Okay, if I'm sure I'll be pissed if you say it.
You probably would be.
Hmm. Okay. 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 I'm sure. Oh my god. Just think. Is it like one of those games that we've watched gameplays of?
I definitely have. I don't know if you have.
I know there's Bendy and the Ink Machine, Five Nights at Freddy's.
You're technically kind of on the right path, technically, but no to both of them. It started as an independent thing for sure.
Minecraft. I know that.
Yeah, that's it. You
I
did
knew. I
get
knew.
it.
I knew. I knew. I knew it. Yeah. Perfect.
You did get it. Yeah.
Because yeah, because I was playing that for a while, very recently.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know. Well, technically, I haven't really played a lot of really anything in a while. But
Yeah.
the last thing that I did play was I was in our DJ Craft Bash or whatever it's called. I was doing some more just things in that. I don't remember what things I was doing, but like it was probably more of like the island preparation, which is pretty much done. I'm putting more like, well, okay, it's never really done because that game you never really technically finish. Kind of. You can finish it if you want, but you can also continue again and again. But yeah, I definitely like that one because of the fact that you can do everything with it, and you could technically do it with other people or yourself, whatever the case.
Just any. Oh yeah. There's also yeah another like franchise I lost interest. It was the Animal Crossing franchise. I
That's
haven't.
yeah. It never, it didn't cross my mind to mention that one, but it is definitely one that is. Hmm,
Like an in and out
it's
phase.
yeah, it's like an in and out one where it's like I definitely like it. I don't think I would trade those games in, but I might have them collecting dust for like 2 years before I even think of them again. You know?
Yeah, it's like those games. Like it's pretty high maintenance. It's not like you can just. It's not like a game where you have to beat a level. It's like you have to take care of a town every day.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Well, okay, not you, because you know what? I'll tell you this too. But mainly, this is going to the 10 listeners we get, if that. Uh, so out of the two of us, Dom's Dom's islands always look like shit.
I'm guessing that's mine. Yep, mine. Right.
Yours, I don't even understand why you would put like the houses like that, and like your shop was like right on top of a neighbor.
Hey, in case that neighbor didn't want to walk like 5 miles. So hey, the store's right there.
But it makes you have to walk 5 miles. But no, part of that franchise, that game, well, at least New Horizons, where you do technically have full control of everything,
Well, now you could
Al-
relocate.
almost everything. Yeah, yeah. You could even. So yeah, the recent DLC that the Animal Crossing franchise had, at least the happy no, the New Horizons one, the one on the Switch, it actually had the ability to even design your neighbors' houses too. Like if you didn't like the wallpaper that was on this animal's house, you could change it, right? You change the interior. You could even put on different sounds and lights too, if you wanted to. So it was definitely like a cool creative thing, and I do want to dive back into it. I mean, definitely the Switch version. I don't know if I want to necessarily do like the past ones, but that's that might be something that comes on this channel that might not be podcast related, potentially. But yeah, I kind of almost forgot to even mention that because right now it's not in our phase, right? Like it sounds like you haven't touched that thing in a long time, and I definitely haven't touched it in a long time too.
Yep. So it's definitely gonna be a lot of cleaning to do, and then at least in this game, these neighbors aren't gonna be as rude as the older games
Oh
were.
god, yeah. But they still sometimes have some sass, but not, they're not gonna tell your character to fall off the edge of the earth because they left me alone.
Like what? Telling me to get stung by a scorpion.
You,
That would.
you you should just get stung by 50 scorpions and not make it to the ER, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what, a snooty bear would say or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But both of us do have probably good memories with that one, but it's it's a phase. I actually, the last thing I'll say about Animal Crossing before moving on to the next little thing is there was a video, I didn't watch it yet, but there was a video someone did where it's like a 43-minute video, like kind of documenting um what was it? It was like the downfall of Animal Crossing, or some. The whole idea was like like suffering from giving too much to do or something, right? It's like a lot of people got burnt out because there was just so much to do. And instead of like the past games where it was literally just a screw around a town, you didn't even have to design the town. You could design your home and decide where out of four previously established buildings it was, but you weren't really doing all of this, like all of this.
Well, I guess their defense, I'm guessing they wanted something different instead of it being the same game over again.
Which, yeah, that's definitely something to think about, which it does a lot of things cool, but one thing that I didn't, and yes, it's kind of weird coming from the person who also said Minecraft was one of the good franchises, but I just didn't like the fact that they introduced crafting into it. It was just, it was just like, can I just buy everything? Why do I have to wait for a card to be able to build something that like I have to wait for this specific thing? I'd much rather be able to like pay for it and things like that, which I think the Happy Home thing had like a terminal you could technically buy some things, but it was just strange. Like I don't know, I definitely do like it. It's just sometimes you did too much with it.
Or another thing are the Nook miles you get like every other time you do something.
Yeah, something tells me that like I kind of wasn't a fan of having three different currencies to manage and to think about. Okay, you didn't mess around with the Happy Home stuff, the DLC, but I did, so I had three currencies to kind of deal with. You you dealt with only two, the miles on the bells, but I also had like exchange coupons
Mm.
or something to do, something with the Happy Home thing. Yeah, it was a lot. It is a lot. Um, and it could be argued that it could be too much, but we could go on a long journey about Animal Crossing, but we don't have to. We honestly went further beyond what I thought this part would even be.
Well, and this could be for a whole new. This could be like an entire different topic or video.
But yeah, definitely we went a little bit further than what I thought we were going to, which is pretty much great. It's cool to have a lot of franchises that you like. It does sound from the sound of it that both of us kind of said a lot of Nintendo things, which is completely fine. Um, you don't need to correct me. You don't need to say if you have like PS3 or Xbox things that you also like. You probably would have already said it if you really liked it, but yeah. Speaking of the PS3 and Xbox and actually Nintendo, how about consoles? And yeah, I'll even lump in controllers too. Uh, what are like the consoles and controllers that you've had?
Well, let's say we've had a lot of. We definitely have a lot of Wii controllers, and we do have we do have PlayStation controllers. But I mean, hey, the I like that the analog stick on the PlayStation 4. You can just if you're driving, you can just change the speed instead of just pressing a button, and it just goes super fast.
Mm,
Um,
any other remotes or consoles or whatever?
the Joy Cons on the Nintendo Switch, those are pretty
Yeah.
I like the HD Rumble. that it featured, and the and other things you can do. You can either use it like it was a Wii console, or you can just use it as like a regular game controller.
You could, yeah, because both of those Joy-Cons even have like a gyroscoping mechanism in them, which allows you to, I mean, it's not exactly aiming, but it does act like the Wii sensor thing, just without a sensor. It literally detects, oh, you're facing it down, so you want to go down. So
Definitely.
that's pretty neat. So personally, I mean, I don't know what you want to count as a console, but I do have, that brick GameCube that I don't technically use a lot right now. I have an old DSi XL. I have a 3DS right over there. Um, if you want to count this, I have a laptop which technically can kind of play games, but it's old, so I not really worth it. We have
Well,
a Wii, we have a Wii U, we have an Atari somewhere in the attic. We have a GameCube down there. We have,
oh wow.
have
Oh,
which um, we I think yeah, I think that might be it for
consoles.
things that we yeah, consoles that I have to my disposal. I mean, I don't have access to a Switch HD or a Switch X or whatever it's called, the
Oh,
upgraded LED one or
the
whatever.
OLED one.
Yeah, that one. But technically, this house does have two of them. Just my brothers own those ones. Um,
Um,
but yeah,
we
I think
we have. Yep.
I think the best controller I've used, and this might be controversial, is probably the Switch Pro controller. I
Oh,
don't I don't have the I guess enough nostalgia for needing a GameCube controller like a lot of other people are like. They're like, "Oh, that's the best one." It is high up there. It's good,
I like that controller too, but
but I like the Pro the best.
and and that's value, and that's opinions valued.
Opinions matter. We're not gonna act like those uncivilized Twitter freaks who are like, "Oh, you disagree with me? I hope you die."
No, 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 no.
I,
Right
you know,
now.
for legal reasons, I have to say in Minecraft. So I hope you die in Minecraft. There.
Here you go. Yep. Oh yeah. So for at least on
Phew.
the top,
Saved it.
there we go. Perfect. Um.
But yeah, I definitely like that Pro controller from the Switch. I mean, yes, they are prone to drift a little bit. Even the Pro controllers.
No,
I,
but
I'm not too big of a fan of the Joy-Cons. I like that you can have one in each hand, but I don't like how kind of cheaply they're made now.
yeah, that's very unfortunate how it is. But I feel like controllers were made that way probably since the NES came out. They were always a lot of them were cheap, but they were still had some quality standard to them.
I mean, yeah, sure they could have been labeled as cheap even back then, but
Hmm.
the fact of the matter is their quality standards have probably gone down then. If we're gonna put it that
I think
way.
this.
If all of it's cheap, then this is the worst cheap then. The
Well,
the the later stuff.
yep, the same can be said about a lot of other things too. It's just like the quality of a lot of products have gone down.
Oh, definitely. We could be here all day. In fact, we could make that a an episode later on, just the downfall of the the bad parts of inflation.
Consumer products.
We could definitely talk about inflation a lot more, but um, I'd
Oh yeah.
rather kind of
So
dive into that later on,
yeah.
like in a
So
different one.
mhm.
So your favorite overall,
I
you
mean,
you don't own the console. Forget about like consoles. Do you like an Xbox controller? Because I've had an Xbox, just kind of got rid of it because I wasn't using it.
I like. I mean, it's. I think that. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it did set a standard for a lot of other console like controllers over the years. Like even just the
Uh,
generic ones.
the thing that, of course, I've been trained pretty much on Nintendo stuff, but the thing that I really got a hard time with was they swapped the B and A.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like if I wanted to press B because it said it on the screen, press it, I'm like B. So I press the down one. B. I'm pressing B. Oh,
Wrong one.
I'm on a different one. So if anything, that would have been something that I would change, just the order of it, because I've just been trained with them. Or here's something that could be a good compromise. What if you just navigate by feel? Or it is just a color-based thing, where it's not labeled with, oh, press the X button, press the A button, press the R, where it's actually just press the orange button. Well, I guess that's also something for like colorblind people too. So maybe that's a problem we need to work out. But you're definitely a big fan of the GameCube on that. Would that be your favorite controller?
I mean, of all time, I don't know. It's. I mean, it's up there as one of my favorites, but I'm not gonna be a. I'm not a big fanboy of it, but it's one of my. It's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, at least as of right now, anyway. Maybe next year a console comes out and you're like, that's the best controller. Which, oh, I haven't even thought of this. You experience any virtual reality stuff?
Um, kinda, but I don't know, I kinda have, but I don't know if we have the thing for our phone anymore, or somewhere, but it's like missing.
The only VR experience I've had was well, in video production class. Sometimes we'd be finished early or something, and the teacher had in in the same room that the morning announcements were done. Um, they had pretty much had a VR headset and monitor kind of off in the corner over there, and that's my only. But yeah, there was a VR headset that was in the corner of the morning announcements room. Um, and after we had filmed like a video production project, or sometimes there was some like downtime after web design or whatever other classes you might have had in there that had a specific teacher involved. Because I think that classroom was technically shared between a few teachers, but it was one of those things where it's like if you have the guy, the teacher would let you sometimes use it if you wanted to, if you were allowed to. Um, so
I know that classroom didn't just have one teacher, for sure.
yeah, I do remember. I do remember at least another one being involved there because one time, actually, it might have even been with you. We wanted to like kind of stay after or just like pick up like a camera to borrow it because there was that sign out sheet like, okay, we're borrowing this, we will return it this. Um, but okay, we don't have to talk about the camera equipment, but the virtual reality, the controllers, they were hard to get the use of. I don't remember exactly what VR headset he had in there, but for me, who was used to just a controller in my hand to just play things, it was kind of hard to wrap my head around it. But it was still a cool experience. I like VR, but if you could make VR have a baby with the Switch, maybe that would be great. Or like have the Joy-Cons be exactly pretty much how they are, except better made. So the the joystick doesn't have dust in it, which makes it drift in 2 seconds of owning it. But 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 I do like that VR stuff. I just don't have the ability to have it right now.
Isn't that like what Nintendo Labo did, kind of with the cardboard?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna trade green paper for brown paper.
Mm,
It's like they just slapped a Switch design on it, and oh, it's
virtual
it,
reality.
it's a game now. We're selling you cardboard to play.
You go, yep, now you're in the game.
I mean, Labo was a pretty neat idea. Like it did have the ability to kind of put your game console in there, and it kind of looked like you were like actually driving in Mario Kart or something. Or Labo even did like those instruments too. That was neat. Um, but I never really experienced it. I think I might have played the piano, but it was like I don't know, at Best Buy maybe. Like maybe they had like a demonstration up somewhere. I think I recall playing it, but I definitely don't have it.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't think I've ever gotten it. I never. I've seen it, but I was like, yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, it never really interested me either. Yeah.
So yeah. So for I guess for the consoles we currently have, we have the PS4 Pro, we have the Nintendo Switch here, and then we have. Then my mom's got one, and then we have the Wii, we have the GameCube, we have an SNES down here that we don't even use.
Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't even our original console, though.
Like you just adopted it from someone.
I think one of my mom's friends gave it to us.
Hmm.
But it's not even the original model either.
Ah. What, like a refurbished thing or something?
I don't know. It's like a it's an official SNES, but it's like I guess it has had like a redesign or something. And then we get it looks like a one of those like plug and play guns things. I'm not sure. But then we speaking of, I have a couple of plug and play consoles, which I guess hey, I guess they still count as consoles.
I guess so, yeah. What are they?
They have a couple of have like a Wheel of Fortune one. Oh, what are the plug and plays? Well, they just what it sounds like. You plug and play.
I was more asking like which ones you have, but
Oh, I
but,
have a
but actually, yeah, sure. You can explain what they are.
well. If you're not a kid of the 2000s, well, you had it's just like a controller with a built-in games in them, and then you just plug it into the front of your TV and you just play the game. But of the kinds what the kinds I have two different SpongeBob games, and then I have like a very I have like Namco collection, Wheel of Fortune, Atari, and then I got like a actually it's like a very recent plug and play, but not made by that same company, but it's like a Miss Pac-Man game. This was
Hmm,
during This was still in stores when we were still in school, high school. But
Ah,
a lot of the older ones, yeah, we were at least in elementary still.
oh,
But yes, if don't have the money to really get like an Xbox or a Nintendo, get a plug and play.
shameless plug and play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's one more I forgot. It's like a game called Bejeweled.
Yeah, pretty much just Candy Crush.
Essentially what it is, but hey, it's kind of the soundtrack is cool, but the music. Other than that, the gameplay is cool too.
Oh, yeah, you a big fan of Minesweeper?
Hmm. I think I've. I don't know. I don't think I've. Sounds familiar.
It's basically just like it's one of the older games, like really old. It's like it's kind of always pre-installed on your device alongside Solitaire, pretty much.
Hmm.
It's basically just a grid where it's like you click on a random square and it will tell you how far away a bomb square is. Right, so it's like, oh, if the number is one, you should probably not click on one that's right next to it
Hmm.
or right to the bottom or top of it because it's just a 2D plane. But yeah, um, and then you could click on, one that says two, and then if you click on one that's right next to that number two, then chances are it's a good one because, well, if it's next to the one that says two, then it's not going to be a bomb.
I see.
But yeah, there are a lot of people who are very great at that. But I was always very, very unlucky at it every single time that I booted it up, which is pretty much the reason why I kind of gave up even trying that game anymore. But I always pretty much clicked on maybe one or two of them, but the third one, if I was lucky, the third one was the bomb. Like all the time, my games pretty much were over in within 3 clicks. A lot of the time, I happened to click on the bomb, like the first try, like first click, game over. Great, fun.
Hmm.
I didn't even get to think of it. I just, I, you start anywhere. Chances are you're not gonna hit the bomb. Oh, bomb, great, cool. Next game.
Epic.
Jeez. So sometimes it made me want to spike the laptop on the ground or whatever. I mean, this was before my personal one that I have right now, and the personal one is dated too. It's definitely close to that 10-year mark. I think I got it like I think I even mentioned this, but I think I got it for entering sixth grade, maybe something like that. Um, and it's definitely old. It's definitely up there.
Um. Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah. Remember there was that one game that was on the computer that I used to play in high school. That ball game.
I
Forgot
don't
the. Yeah.
know if you would call that a video game, though.
I mean, it's not a video game, but I don't know. I just thought of it just now.
Slope was a very great thing for our study halls.
Mm-hmm.
Slope.
That's it. But that's what I was like wondering. So I guess back to like what we were talking about before.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a whole different world of browser-based games, which we don't need to get into now. Um,
If we're more in like the home console type.
yeah, we're talking about more of the home experiences, and I would, I would even stretch it to maybe include arcade stuff if you do like the cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about like the basketball shooting one, right? Like I'm talking about actually like the video game parts. But and that's if we're stretching. Do you like? do you possibly like any of the controls that the arcade cabinets have, or are you only playing them just for the game and not for the controls that are on it?
Hmm. It's kind of a mixed answer, I guess. I mean, there's like, so I mean, yes, I mean the controls are really cool, I would say. I mean, it's not like unless yeah, I like the controls for them, but it's not exactly something you can replicate on a game controller unless it's like I mentioned earlier, plug and plays.
True,
But
yeah.
the only so really, I guess I don't know. It's kind of like a complicated answer. So yes, I like the games. They're really cool.
But not necessarily a big fan of the controls. Like would you, if possible, take the controller off of a off of a arcade cabinet, install it in your home, and just play everything off of that? Like, would you do that?
Probably
Or
not. Uh, hmm. Probably not for every game, because it's I don't know. It's not really useful for like. It's not like I'm gonna be fishing with Animal Crossing, or it's not gonna be like I'm not gonna be using Animal Crossing with that controller because there's not really exactly analog sticks, kind of like on a regular remote control, because you can't exact because I think if you just move the little control stick on the arcade, it's like it's pressing a button versus it's you're kind of putting pressure on something. If that makes really any sense.
oh yeah, I could see that. One of the things that okay, this could go on technically forever and ever because there are so many arcade games in the world. But I'm going to talk about like I think it's something to do with Tiger Woods. I think it's one of the PGA. I think that's what the thing is. But it's like a golf game, right? And it has like a ball. Um, not a golf ball. I mean like the
Oh.
the controller is kind of like a ball that you get to like kind of move around. And I remember playing like that golf game and just like, okay, line it up and then whoosh, like you just press up the this embedded ball. I don't know what to call it, but like I feel
Oh,
like
I
yeah,
okay. Sounds familiar. I played it at it. Well, it's like at a local like place that my mom used to volunteer at.
yeah.
There used to be a golf game in that one area.
And that one, the one area that I'm thinking of, where
Yes.
I guess Batman volunteered.
Yep. Prob-
The Dark Knight, right?
yep. Definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's a little bit interesting though. Like uh, actually hold up. I'm gonna ask you something right here. Do you yeah, I obviously heard you say that you did prefer the GameCube controller over like a lot of other things that you've at least played with. Do you still think that's the case with the I'm struggling for words with the arcade stuff into
It.
play, or do you still like the GameCube stuff
I mean, I
more?
would. It'd be cool if they had that same like setup of like GameCube controls, but if I'm going to the arcade, I think I'm expecting like buttons and then that big giant like control stick. But if it was my own, then sure I would use the GameCube controller for every game if depending on what it is.
All right, well, let's paint this scenario. You have the ability to play any game that you want. Doesn't matter. Are you using the GameCube controller or are you using an arcade top? You have a choice. You can't say half and half. It's a
Uh,
pick.
so I mean I would probably then sure I think I would use the GameCube controller.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you still kind of think that's your overall favorite one. Gotcha. Do you like the do you like laptop controls or I guess PC, whatever?
Is this gonna be like whether I prefer the yeah I mean I don't mind it, but I mean you still have to learn learn the what buttons to use. I mean that can be said for any controller, but it seems like it's a little more complicated with PC games. But um I don't mind them.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of the same situation. Like, I pretty much only stick to, well, they shut down the site that I liked using, but I only pretty much play Tetris on laptop if I even can get across with the lag because I'm gonna tell you this old laptop not really suited for gaming. But yeah, I guess I don't mind laptop controls, but the only problem is it's like I haven't been doing laptop controls for forever now. Like it is definitely going to be one of those things. Like
I
yeah,
mean,
you ever see those clips of different like Minecraft beginners who like who it's like oh you press Q to level something up and then they're over like a lava lake and they lose something because they pressed Q. I think Q is drop.
no, I don't think I have seen that.
Yeah, I did cut you off a little bit earlier. What were you about to say if you remember?
You're talking about I think oh yeah, I was saying it's like it makes a diff doesn't I mean the keyboard controls are pretty much the same on your laptop as the desktop because I remember we were playing Tetris like during homeroom in school. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, now you can continue.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of use it interchangeably. Like PC is desktop, is laptop gaming. It's all the QWERTY keyboard, and it's not, mobile. So there is a difference between those two. But
Yeah,
I kind of say laptop gaming is the same thing as desktop gaming is the same thing as PC gaming because of the fact that it just has the same keyboard functionality. Yes, I understand storage is a little bit different uh, based on which one
well,
you use, but
yep.
it's overall the same thing.
There are PCs out there that were meant for gaming.
Oh,
But
definitely.
I mean, I'm not gonna use my old like what I'm not gonna probably use what the family computer probably to play Jumpstart on unless unless it's probably made for that.
Yeah, we could be a little bit more topical. We could say we'd be playing only up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what only up is?
Hmm. Play it to me, but I know you're not talking about the movie Up, but so that the game is called Only Up.
Right. Yeah. Have you heard of Getting Over It?
No.
Jeez, you are old. So, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy was made by, well, Bennett Foddy, who also brought you games such as Co-op. That's QWOP. That's
Hmm.
where you were like a horse and you just pressed QWO or P, and those were the legs, and you had to, see how far you could get just based on only using those. That was the one that kind of played all the time in like a computer class or something whenever the teacher wasn't looking. That one. And he also made something where it's basically just N and M are the only buttons being pressed, I think, where it's just a sprinter, just a man sprinter. You ever heard of the quap, maybe.
Hmm. This is all like I said. It's like well, I don't even remember you playing it in school.
I didn't play it like in high school, like none of those ones. No.
Hmm. So I guess I've never heard of it till now.
Dang. Wow, that's I was expecting you to at least get quap because that's up there. That's like, oh, mini clip. Oh, let's rage at this game. But no worries, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially Bennett Foddy made Getting Over It, which was a guy who has no shirt on and his bottom half is in a cauldron and he wields like a sledgehammer and only using mouse circles, like circling your mouse, you have to get to the top, beat the game. Like Foddy, if you want to classify his games, Foddyism is kind of like the idea of simple controls, but make it painfully hard, right?
Yeah, I
It's
think
it's
yeah.
easy to learn, hard to master things.
Sounds like it would be like a harder version of like a full motion video game. Press this one button, this scenario. What would you do? Either hey, respond to either this sentence or respond to the other sentence.
Well, the thing that I think you might have misunderstood was it's literally just one of the games could just be pressing four buttons: Q, U, or no, Q, W, O, or P. That's that horse one.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Over It would be just mouse circles. You have to maneuver all the way to the end of the game just based on mouse. Well, it doesn't have to be circles, but like mouse movements only. There's no like button to press in that one. It's just simple circles or semicircles or lines, but just move your mouse and that's it. So, that became one of the really popular ones, popular rage games. Pretty much, especially whenever Markiplier pretty much played the whole thing. Took him a while because that's one of the games where you screw up, especially in certain spots. You literally get sent back to the beginning.
Hmm.
It doesn't have checkpoint systems. It's just you play it, it will save where you log off. That's it. So if you rage quit because you're at the beginning, guess what? You start at the beginning. But if you save and quit near the top, well, hopefully you don't fall back down. But if you do save and quit at the top, you'll start at the top. Yeah. Um, but anyway, someone I don't think it was Foddy. It could have been him, but I don't think it was. There's a 3D platformer pretty much where I think you only press like the mouse button and maybe aim. I might be wrong about the controls. I haven't really looked into the controls, but it is definitely a popular one right now because it's a rage game. It's you can only go up, so you have to jump on different things to progress. And obviously, you don't want to fall down, but it doesn't. I don't think it has any what do you call it checkpoints. I think it's literally just try to jump and you just hope you don't fall down. Similar to like Jump King or Pogo Stuck. Yeah,
Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting.
I, de- I
Well,
definitely I definitely wouldn't mind playing those on on this maybe, but of course I already know what the gimmicks are with well all of them except for Only Up because I haven't looked so much into it. I just kind of know that that's one of the rage games that are going on right now. Yeah.
hmm.
and then make
Oh.
you play them.
And then we're gonna have like do like a reaction, like a rage quit video of me just slamming the keyboard.
Yeah, like a popular thing that's been going on, like with those rage games, is like a Discord call or just a hangout call, whatever, a phone call. But just many people in the same room, kind of just watching, one of their friends like do it, but the other people are there for kind of moral support. And it's just like, oh, just different. Sometimes they talk about just different things just to ease somebody's mind who's playing it. But then sometimes they're like, oh, you got this. All you have to do is this or that, right? So it's honestly fun looking.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
They,
don't know where my rage game tangent started, but regardless, here we are, right?
yeah.
Dumb. What type of personal memories related to gaming do you have?
Mm, I don't even know where to begin because there's plenty of them. I think I would say my most memorable is playing Animal Crossing on the Wii because I used to binge play the hell out of it when I was 8 and 9.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it's like one of those, again, it's one of those high maintenance games. And another thing I really liked doing was fishing on there. And as if you've seen any videos of me on YouTube, you've probably seen me just catching fish.
I've actually seen that. I clicked on it because I thought, oh, maybe it was just, you know, like a good reaction to like a shark or something. But no, it's just normal.
The only the only it's just myself recording, and then I didn't really talk.
Hmm,
But if it was just my dad beside me, then yeah, I'm like speaking.
Lord.
Yep, those were the good days.
Any like explanation as to why it's like memorable?
Well, I guess it was one of the first times, at least the first time for me, that I was really committed to a like like pixels on a screen. I would say, like video game.
All right, all right. Not every memory has to be, very, I guess,
Vivid.
detailed. Yeah, if something's if that's very how do I put it? If that's a personal memory that you really enjoy, then hey, simple or complex doesn't
Well,
matter.
well, there's like multiple memories. Very simple ones of playing. I guess when we had our original GameCube, I played the Hulk on that one. I remember that.
How about like the memories that are attached to them? Like, do you like? Was there like an epic moment that you did? Like, oh, you spent 5 months trying this specific level and then you finally get it, or is it just you remember playing them and you liked that?
I never really. I guess as a kid, I didn't really. Um, I don't know. I guess I was. I don't know. It's just hard to really explain it, but I guess when I was very young, I didn't really have the. I guess I wasn't really sentient enough to really know everything, but know exactly how to complete or know what levels to be. I just mess either. I would mess around on it, but I don't know. I was just too young to really. I don't know, really connect with it. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to really explain it, but yeah, I think the Animal Crossing one really tops it with the memories.
Yeah.
But I did played. I mean, I've done some shooting games with my I played Star Fox with my brother, and we had to complete some missions on
Right.
there. And
Yeah, something like GoldenEye or something,
oh,
or is it more like a chicken run?
nah, it was like Star Fox.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So now I gotta quit. Since I explained my memories, what about yours?
Oh, perfect. I thought you would never ask. Genuinely, I thought you would never ask. But
Well, I would have.
eventually, right after you shared your 101 memories.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get through all of them.
Yeah, one eternity later.
All right.
But no, yeah, one that really stands out to me. It's one that I kind of look back with mixed emotions because it was kind of a weird moment that I guess happened after that. But I could explain it. It was like 4, maybe less. I'm just gonna say 4 years ago
Well, so it's
when. Oh yeah, I mean like yeah, more recent than but it is still one of those like I look back on in most okay, the memory is positive, but like kind of events after it kind of sullied that memory a little bit, which I don't know if I'll dive into like the aftermath, but um, essentially the main idea was um, I invited like a close friend at the time to join in like a simple Minecraft Bedrock server, right? Um, this wasn't one that you joined in on because I think it was just like a specific like oh this specific group. Um, yeah, but I
mm-hmm.
essentially got a lot of different people on um at the moment at the moment that I'm thinking of right now. This memory, it was only one person and I who was on it. We had pretty much just found the the end portal,
Oh, I think
which
I remember. I think I kind of remember now that.
you weren't there though. This wasn't you. But yeah, the end portal is in a stronghold. You have to use Eyes of Ender to track it down after you throw it. You fill in the frames, the 12 frames, usually like one or two are filled in already, but sometimes more. And then, or actually even sometimes less. But after those frames are filled in with eyes, portal opens up, ready for you to, you know, beat up the Ender Dragon, right? But so this friend and I did that. Um, she and I were just about ready to, destroy this dragon. We did have we did have keep inventory on, so I didn't like lose everything or whatever. I guess that's foreshadowing, but um, essentially we were, pillaring to the middle to the spawn, right? And we had maybe like 10 more blocks to go because we had to kind of stack things and bridge over. In our bridging, she decides to ender pearl over to the mainland, but in doing so, her her pearl kind of hit me and it forced me to fall into the void. And I'm like, what? What? Yeah, and she kind of forced me to plummet to my doom. Of course, it was like I said, keep inventory, so I didn't lose anything. But if it wasn't keep inventory, I would have lost everything and probably been a rage quit or salty pants. But yeah, we eventually did end up defeating that dragon, and I think we even found an end city to raid. But it was mainly the bridging moment where she threw a pearl and knocked me off. That's one of the funny memories where it kind of just is in my head. Like I said, I'm not gonna dive into the aftermath of this specific, I'm gonna say former friend group,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was definitely a fun moment that at least the two of us had shared. Of course, in the
Sounds like
moment, it's very, very devastating to me because like I died, right? Yeah, but no, it's one of those you look back on it and it's pretty funny, but
like
of
now it's
course,
funny.
yeah, of course, like after the fact, but that moment, if you single and you no, you focus on that one moment, pretty funny, but it's kind of a bittersweet moment with every other context added onto it.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely one of the bigger ones. And since you shared two, well, I think you shared technically three memories, but whatever, I'll share a second one. Um, then you have this one's going back before that 4 years, so this would have been, oh boy, I forgot I'm 21. This would have been like closer to what, 15-ish years ago or something. Maybe less, maybe
Yeah.
more. I don't know. This
Elementary, like
one's older.
the elementary.
Somewhat. Maybe it was middle school days too, but around there, the 4, 5, 6 grade mark. Um, Closer to one of those. My grandmother had had like a basement, right, that she rented out to one of my cousins, right? And he
Hmm.
just happened to have an NES. And one day, because there wasn't any lock, because I mean, it wasn't like a stranger, it was just, my cousin or her grandson, right? But of course, she did have dementia, so sometimes she did genuinely forget things.
Hmm.
Actually, I think it was Alzheimer's, but it's pretty much like the same, I guess, ailment, just with differences. I'm not saying they are the same thing, they just share similar uh, qualities. But so there wasn't any lock on that door, so it's like it's also like it's kind of like a shared laundry room too. So it's like if you were upstairs, you had to go downstairs to wash your stuff. But if you were from that basement area that rented out space, you would just go through that door that I'm talking about and be able to wash your things. Um, so I went through that door because I knew it wasn't locked because it never is. And yeah, I just explored down there because it's fascinating. It's like you're never allowed down there. So when you get a chance, go down there. Which is probably a weird thing to think of because if it wasn't my cousin who was renting that place out, that could have been very, very weird for me. But regardless, I pretty much ended up sneaking around and I started playing the NES version of Mario. I started just playing, World 1-1, just classic Mario Bros. 1. And I was trying to, in my, 8-year-old speedrunner mindset, I was trying to beat it, but I couldn't even get past something relatively early on, and I think one of the reasons why I stopped was I started hearing like steps relatively close to me, and it's like, oh, I have to go. Probably he's probably here. Yeah.
Mm. Sounds like quite a memory.
Oh yeah, that's the type of detail I was looking for. Yeah, do you have any that are like detailed like that?
Um, I have no know at the top of my head, but sure, if something comes to mind, I'll explain it in detail.
Oh, okay. Well,
But yeah,
um,
other than like that, I mean, if I could think of anything recent, I, I don't know.
I mean, you could even talk about. I guess it's a web browser game, but you could talk about the Tetris stuff. You could talk
Oh,
about the
that.
slope stuff. You could talk about anything that like you're like, oh, I was in a.
Oh yes,
I
yes, yes.
actually,
I
I
remember
do have one more detailed memory, but I'll let you
slope.
go
Yep,
first.
yep, slope. I know slope. I remember playing that, and I know there was a. I remember junior year. I remember I was in study skills, and some of the kids were like, like checking out like it's like watching me play it, and even when they tried it, they couldn't really do it. But they couldn't exactly do it. But like I don't know, it's like one of those games that it's like you keep playing until you like do the best, try until you get better every time. I guess it's one of those memories. But that was when I was in. This was in like a study skills day.
So yeah, even if you were to explain like slope in study hall, or maybe you played Line Rider as a kid or something on like a web browser. Maybe you were into Wizard 101 or like Webkins or something like that.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah.
you have any good memories, like just detailed stuff?
Just like of like that time period, or just any time period of like web games.
Just anything detailed, any memory that you have related
Um,
to video games. I will count web games like Slope, right?
so I guess if we're really if we really want to talk about the good days of the web games, I know I really had some good memories on Nick.com before. Now it's they direct you to the app. I know I was trying so hard to beat this Drake and Josh game that was on there. It's I was like I don't know. I know it was about you had to grab like it was just a floating head that you had to drag with the mouse and then like match. I don't know what items. They're like color coordinated, and you had to drag the heads to whatever color matches and what items they were. You'd have to see a gameplay on YouTube to probably see what I'm talking about. But that's like I was like really trying to beat that game.
Right. Okay. Like who was with you, or like maybe what age were you, or like
Probably
details, man,
I was
details.
probably I think I was it was like 2008 or something. Like that's how far back it was. This is
Right. Okay.
when we had the yeah when our when I used to use the bedroom computer, but then yeah, and then I don't know. It's like we had that old monitor, and then we were just playing. I don't know. It's like it's just 2000s era gaming, I guess. I don't know. I don't really nobody was with me. It was just myself. Just, the young me was just playing up. I don't know. It was like other. There's like plenty of other games that I don't remember, but the that one game was that Drake and Josh game.
Was there a reason why you got so into it? Was it something where on the playground or something you'd say, "Oh yeah, I beat that level," as like a bragging right thing, or
No, it's just
like any memories attached to it?
I don't know. It's just I really don't really know how to say it. It's like I don't know. It's just I don't know. I guess it's like a repetitiveness. I guess that's what. I don't know. I really.
So are you trying to say all of your memories that you've had about any video game has just been you just needed to pass the time?
No.
Pretty colors on the screen?
No. It literally wasn't that though.
Memories, details.
Oh, now I remember what I found the game that I was talking about. It was called Drake and Josh Gear Grab, but I really that's one of the only details I only have so far. But I don't know. I'm just trying to look at the synopsis of the game, but yep, we're keeping this all in. We're keeping this all in.
You don't need to read the synopsis of the game. I believe it was like I believe you. I'm not saying I don't believe that it wasn't like a game. I'm saying like why was it so impactful on you?
I guess there's just one of those. It's just one of those experiences you can't really do nowadays. Because now you see kids with their tablets playing some Paw Patrol or whatever kids game they're playing. I don't know exactly the reason, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know the set reason as to why it. I don't. I just attached to it. That's all.
You're making me go psycho.
This is not meant to be
Well,
a. This is not. This is not
I
meant to
will
be one of those therapy.
I will give you one more memory that I have like in regards to playing video games. I'll even make it less time, right? I'll make it considerably shorter than the other two that I said. Another thing that happened during high school, this was in senior year, however, um, one of our mutual friends, kind of the more than an acquaintance, less than like a best friend, right? But like close enough, right? It was him, another person in the group, and another person in the group, and then me. In in that study hall, it was at a time when I had two study halls, right? Like a fun one, which is that one, and then boring one, which was just one where I was pretty much alone. Like I didn't have anyone that I was really close to in that study hall, so I got everything done in that one, and then I just goofed off in the other one, which made uh which made talking to the teacher that was in charge of the fun one kind of awkward because like genuinely I have like two study halls. I got everything done. And it's like they don't believe you because like, oh, you couldn't have it. You're lying, you're kidding. Whatever. One of the friends brought a Switch that happened to have Smash Brothers on it. So pretty much that full trimester or semester, whatever, how long things were, we just played Smash. And guess what? We were all kind of
Oh.
similarly skilled. So
Oh.
it's not like, someone was always destroying somebody else. It was just, oh, we happened to be close in skill, so sure, let's do this. It was kind of fun. Sometimes it got rowdy, and one time, like I'm gonna say it, a bitchy teenage girl walked up to us and was like, "I'm trying to work here," and one of the friends in that group was like, "Yeah, she's in my class. She doesn't work for shit. She just probably wants us to shut up because she doesn't do her work."
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was pretty fun whenever people were picking Yoshi and were trying to kill people with just licking them in eggs. Like, and then like eczema was one of the jokes because oh, it's time for an egg move or whatever. You're Lucas or something where it's like oh, you got to freeze somebody, or maybe Bowser where it's like you could side
Oh no, now you're there's the tinny sound. But I think once it comes does bring a memory from around that period now.
You know, since I'm Kenny, I want you to be detailed. Do that memory and be detailed. Be detailed.
Okay, so I guess it was this is when we were seniors in high school. Um it was always at lunch. There's this one kid, a little bit younger than I am. Um he was like 2 grades below me, and me and him, I think uh you might have probably I don't know if you might remember him, but he would always bring his Switch. We would always play Super Smash Brothers at lunch. And like obviously like at the time I was not really good at it, and he always beat me like every game. But then we had again, he's like one of those acquaintances, but then we had other kids that I again were just acquaintances I don't even know, but we were just pretty much playing Super Smash Bros on his Switch, and then that's really much it. But there was one other time that that same guy that I was sort of friends with in school. I think he was from a different study hall. He was a different study hall, and then he came by just to. I guess he came by. I guess we were just playing the game. Pretty much every lunch day, it was always Super Smash Bros on his Switch, and then I played with some other random kids in his grade. This was the year, it was like around the time that that game came out, Super Smash Ultimate. I got it for Christmas my senior year, and at the time I did play the hell out of it. And then again, ever since we graduated, I haven't touched the game since. I guess it's one of those little fad games that, oh, I was like, can't wait to kick some ass, and now I guess I'm all like worn out from it.
It's a similar thing with me. Like, it's pretty much been a while since I have played that. But the problem is, sometimes I will, watch like a streamer or something, and they'll have like a live stream event where it's like they have like a tournament sort of thing. But the problem with that is there's always somebody who's taking it super seriously in there. And it's like nobody could ever destroy like as soon as they win one, they're always playing the full time and it kinda doesn't make things fun whenever you're not even trying to go easy on people who have like no shot. Like I always whenever I'm in those like competitions, I'll always feel very satisfied if I just take one stock on everybody who I go against. I
Oh,
don't have to win. I just have to, take one of their lives.
and now you sound normal.
Now I do. So I guess in editing, I might see where things happen.
But you first, while you were still tinny for a second, then you were normal. Then it that's normal.
Strange.
But hey, at least if you want, you could always put subtitles.
I feel like this time I will because like we kind of already continued through it, and I don't want to like, cut off your memory that you actually did a good job on. This was the first one that you actually did details. Um, it wasn't just, oh, I liked it because I don't know, I liked it.
I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. I don't know, but I guess the more I guess the more I guess the more I'll think about, then the more details start peeling out. Because I know what it is, but it's just that I don't right on the spot. I just don't have it all collected.
Yeah, on the spot is kind of one of those tough things sometimes. I was able to do it because I just kind of know what I want to talk about. And once I start talking, sometimes I can't shut up. So,
I just because I was thinking about the old website. I was like, oh yeah, I have. I don't know. There's just a lot to choose from, and it's hard to stick with just one game too.
mm,
I was just at a time that I remember being in my elementary school, specifically lower elementary, and then whenever I wasn't doing any homework or any schoolwork, or for that matter, hey, let me just go on nick.com because we didn't really have tablets yet. So, like back when, well, yeah, back when we still had the computer in our bedroom,
oh yeah.
which now my brother's personal computer. So now I don't have we don't have a whole family computer other than then we had another one in our old basement, but not anymore.
Oh, that's bum.
Yep, and now in the current place I have, don't even have the space for any of that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So that's really kind of what the only memory right now I have, but I'll probably type in the rest. Um, that I'll probably type in the rest in the comments once this uploads.
oh yeah.
So
That's, and speaking of, you too can type things in the comments and subscribe and like our stuff. And stay tuned for more things because we definitely have been planning some more things, like actual more thing. One thing we could tell you about is we have been trying to make an actual trailer for the channel. That's something, it's in the plans. We have possible music backgrounds, but we still didn't choose one. So we have that possibly coming up, but other surprises along the way.
yes, I was literally thinking about I was literally thinking about putting in that community post like, oh yeah, we have some things in the works. Hopefully this summer.
Oh, yeah. Sometime hopefully before August 30th, because that's when I start something else up again, possibly.
Yeah, so that's really so yeah. I was gonna. That's what I was gonna tell everybody. Is like, well, we're not just get pretty soon. We're not just gonna be doing podcasts because we have plans for maybe like a skits or just anything else for that matter.
Yeah, the whole foundation on this, which we actually said in our what is up with DomJake Studios? That is technically our trailer episode, but um, I figure I believe you actually agree with this, but I kind of figured that that was a little bit too long for somebody to just get into our stuff. I mean, like, it might not be long enough if somebody already knows us and is familiar with our stuff, possibly, or who we are. So it might be interesting to, real life people who know us. But for just the average Joe, an hour and 30 minutes is frankly a lot to
Well,
just learn about why we formed this channel, what it started as, what we plan to do.
yeah. So it's like definitely we want something that's more of like as long as like a 15-minute TV spot, something like
Yeah.
that. Unless
Actually,
you
like the trailers, the thing that I have planned anyway is just 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, maybe a minute, but something pretty short just to be like, oh, I am, and you are, together we are. This is what you can expect from us. This, that. And as always, the podcast that will come out whenever we have the time to do so. See you
Yes.
then, or hope you enjoy the show, or whatever, right? Some pretty
Yes.
short that explains the whole idea. But another thing is, like, it's kind of hard writing, like, a trailer for something that so far the only thing that's come out of it is just these pods, right?
Like
It's
that's
hard to
literally the
say,
only thing.
yeah.
But yes, definitely expect more content this like before August 30th or until one of us gets a job.
I mean, I do have one. It just apparently takes like 3 or 4 month vacation because it has to do with school systems.
Yes, but yes, definitely till August 30th. But
Hopefully, we see you then.
yeah.
Um, I guess we could officially wrap up here. So, uh, thank you for joining us on our video game journey. This has been DomJake Studios presenting DomJake Podcast episode 18, or yeah, 18, called The Video Game One. Have a great day.
Yep. And cut.
Do, 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 do.